Hello, my name is Yomi Fawemi. I'm a human resources professional who practice from in Nigeria, Canada, and in the US. My goal is to make you know how the workplace works. So March is March is dedicated to issues about women, and we have the International Women's Day in the month of March. So I said I'm going to be doing a series of cases that women as prosecuted to win rights for themselves. So yesterday, the video I did was about the case in Nigeria wherein a woman was asked to get permit, wherein a policy said a wives should get approval from their husbands to get passport, but husbands don't need such approval. The brilliant Professor Preye Amadi went to court and won the case, and it was declared to be discriminatory. That was a case in Nigeria. Today, I'm reviewing a case in Canada. Yes, Canada. You will be surprised that as developed as Canada is, we also had laws and policies that worked against women. There's a law called the British North American Act of 1867 that describes roles and responsibility in the provinces and the federal government. This law uses the word persons when describing more than one person. But when it's describing one person, it uses the pronoun he. So when it's talking about a group of people, it will say persons. When it's now using the word in person as describing one person, it uses the pronoun he. So as a result of this, many people interpreted that a person is a he. Therefore, a she is not a person. And therefore, women were not allowed to hold certain positions because the law says only a person should hold the position, and that person must be a he. Yes, in Canada. Yes, Canada. And then in 1927, 5 women in Alberta decided that they were going to do something about this. These women were journalists, reformists, and they said they were going to ask the Supreme Court of Canada one question. Does the person in section 24 of the Act include females? So that was the case in court. That section 24 of the Batna Act that talked about person, does it include females? So they approached the Supreme Court of Canada. Should I shock you? The Supreme Court of Canada said person does not include women. Yes, the Supreme Court of Canada said person does not include women. So technically, the Supreme Court of Canada, lawyers, professional, judges, the Supreme Court of Canada, I mean, you know the quality of people that should be on, said in Canada, a person is not a woman. But these 5 ladies, brilliant, committed ladies, were different people. They were committed to the cause. At that point in Canada's history, if you don't like a decision in Supreme Court of Canada, you can decide to appeal. And we had an appeal court in Great Britain called the Privy Council, and that was Canada's highest court of appeal, where you can appeal against the decision of the Supreme Court of Canada. And so these ladies went to this court, and in October 18, 1929, Lord Sankey, the Lord Chancellor of Great Britain, said, I'm going to read exactly what it says. The exclusion of women from all public offices is a relic of days more barbarous than ours. And to those who ask why the word persons should include females, the obvious answer is, why should it not? And so, this Privy Council decided that indeed, persons include women. And that was why women could go to the Senate. That was why women could take in more roles. Question: why would anybody, while writing the law for Canada, say person is he? Why not he or she or they, or as the case may be? So that error came from lawmaking. And now that, okay, the error is made, why is it that over the years nobody in Canada decided to challenge that this cannot be correct? Why was it that when these brilliant 5 ladies decided to challenge this case, why did the people in the Supreme Court of Canada decide that they would not agree that persons included women? While with justices, the word is, you are a justice. You're supposed to be just. You're supposed to administer. Why will you say in Canada, persons does not include women? But God blessed the Privy Council in Great Britain that said, no, it doesn't make any sense that you will exclude women. So you see a lineup of failures. What if those women could not appeal? And that's why till date, October 18th in Canada, we have an annual day that we celebrate called the Person's Day. It's a day to recognize the role of those individuals, 5 ladies, and they have been recognized all around Canada. Question: are there still government departments, employers, people in their minds or written down that write laws that preclude women? Do we also have people who look like members of the Supreme Court of Canada that said persons should not include women? Because those cases could also come to you. There are judges today that get cases like that. How will you decide? I'm reviewing this case for you to realize that it is important for us to look at our laws. If you're a workplace manager, if you're in HR, if you're a professional, check your laws. Are there laws that preclude women from benefits and things like that? That's the second case I'm reviewing. You know, yesterday it was the case in Nigeria. Today's case is a case from Canada. I hope you're following and you're enjoying. Let me know, what do you think about this thing? What do you think we should do about these brilliant 5 women who fought the case? What should we also do about the justices of the Supreme Court who said a woman should not be a person? And what should we do to celebrate the members of the Privy Council of Great Britain? It's me, Yomi Fawemi. Let me know what you think about what I just shared. My goal is to help you know how the workplace works. My next video, we review one interesting case that was decided. And because, you know, this video, I talked about how the justices took its job, but I will review how a justice decided a case that involved women. You're going to enjoy it because that case changed the course of women in an entire country. Thank you, Yomi Fawemi, and happy International Women's Day to all the women and girls.